Now, here is the number one reason why you should have a trail cam. Because one day, I guarantee Sasquatch will come into your camp. I absolutely guarantee it. And your money back. All the money you're paying for this video, I'll double your money back with this guarantee. Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. You know, something I've been thinking about doing for a while is because I'm into photography, I'm into wildlife, I'm into nature. That's kind of why I live in a van. It's my favorite thing about being in a van and what keeps me in the van and looking forward to tomorrow. What will I see? What beautiful sunset? What what animal will wander through camp? These are things I love and enjoy. And I would guess that you would enjoy those things too, and that's kind of why you're out here. And if not, you will come to love those things. So, this is a little gadget that I've been thinking about that would have a lot of practical uses, but also enhance that part of my life that I really love, the part of just being in nature. It's a trail cam. And so you've all probably heard of trail cams and seen pictures of them coming from a trail cam. But you know, you probably never thought about, well, I'll get one. It just never occurred to you. It never occurred to me. A friend suggested it, and who had one, and we got to talking about it. And the more I thought about it, the more I fell in love with the idea. So I thought, what a great video! And so I ordered this one, and I have another one coming. I wanted to start with a really good one, so this was $140. But I have a lower cost model coming because I know a lot of you don't have $140 to spend. And I want to compare. Am I getting my money's worth with the $140 one? Well, the money goes into the camera, the quality of the unit and the camera. So this is a pretty good camera. It's 4K, and if that's just gibberish to you, it will give you a better picture. And that's pretty important on a trail cam because you're wanting to see wildlife and things. And a lot of it is the nighttime, you know, because that's when animals are out. Let me give you an example. I'm in Pahrump, Nevada right now, and I've been camped here in the snow. It actually snows fairly often here. It's 2,500 feet, and it snows fairly often. So one morning I woke up and it had got a couple inches dusting, maybe an inch or two of snow. And my dogs and I have always go for walks. So in the morning we got out and we walked around. And as I walked through the snow, I was just stunned by all the little critter tracks that were all around me. Some of them were, Homer was a great big dog, and so he had great big paws, bigger than even most big dog paws. So these were not Homer paws, and there was no one anywhere near. So it was not a domestic dog, and there were little dog tracks everywhere. So they were either fox or coyotes, and I'm not enough of a woodsman to know the difference. But it was wild animals, and rabbits were. They must have been rabbits. They might have been mice. You know, there were little tiny mice trails that were obvious. And so I walked around the perimeter of my whole camp, and they were everywhere. I was just stunned how much animal activity there was at night right here in I mean, I'm 4 miles away from Pahrump. And so if I had a digital camera set up, a trail cam, and they all have the motion, and so if a little critter walked past, it fires and captures it, and you get to see the next day what was out there. Not to me, that'll just be fun. I think it'll be a good time, and I'm gonna look forward to doing it. But I've often had coyotes, and that's kind of more of a serious issue. You want to know if there are coyotes around, because if there's coyotes, especially if there's a family of coyotes, and there are sometimes they do travel in families, and as families, they are much more dangerous than they are alone. They'll pack up. And I've had a friend actually had so many coyotes around us that they actually came in to lure out his dog. And then that's not just fun anymore. That's life and death. And I have woke up, well, particularly here in Pahrump, I've gone out in the evening because I heard something and shined a light and seen a couple of eyes. You know how eyes glow in the dark from the flashlight. You can't see the animal even hardly at all if he's far enough away, but you can see the lights just glaring. And so I've had coyotes just 30 feet away from me at night. They thought even with a flashlight they think you can't see them. They don't run away. And so I've had coyotes just right outside my door a lot of times at night. And even during the day, I've had them very nearby, 50, 100 feet away from my camp all the time. Well, that's important because one-on-one, I've always had big enough dogs that they one-on-one they wouldn't attack Coyote, Cody or Homer, my last dog. They were too big. They wouldn't do it. However, once they pack up, there's no hope for a single dog. And if you have a small dog or a cat, it can be life and death for your pet to know when coyotes are around. And you can't, there's nothing you can really do about it other than pack up and leave. But if you don't know they are already there, you won't pack up and leave. This can be a lifesaver for your pet. And so I would really ask you to consider that if you have a pet, particularly a small pet. But even a larger dog, you have a huge dog, a pack of coyotes can bring down a big dog. And I don't dwell on this, but human people around at night, I have never experienced that personally, but I do know it could happen. I don't know if I know of anyone it's happened to, but having the security against people is a good thing. I mean, I think even if all it does, and I believe that's all it will ever do, is help you sleep better at night, knowing you have a camera on and it's outside. This particular one has an app that connects to your smartphone. It has you through Wi-Fi. They all do that. And if you're using it for security, you can just have it on the side of your rig or somewhere unobtrusive so people don't notice it on the side of your rig or outside. And you can tap to it anytime. If you buy 4 of the cheap ones, and we'll try some cheap ones in 4-packs, and you can have one on all 4 corners, and as long as they have an app, you can look at them and see. You don't even have to open a window to peek out. And I have seen the 4-packs of the cheap ones for like 100, $150. And so that makes them pretty practical. And a very valid reason to have one beyond just the fun factor. Another, it's almost like having a dash cam. You know, if you have a dash cam uh, after an accident, that can make an enormous difference. I know people who had accidents, and with the dash cam footage, they could show it to the police, they could show it to their insurance agency, and say, "See, this is how this happened." Well, someone comes in at night and steals something of yours, and you can show this dash cam footage to the police, to the insurance agency, probably get more money back for your insurance. Here's proof. You know, whether the police, maybe it's someone the police knows. Those kind of people who are out going and stealing usually are people the police know, and they say, "Oh, we know who right who this guy is. We'll pick him up." That happens. I mean, it really does. Most of the time, nothing comes of it. They don't know all the bad guys in town. And so, but there's a distinct possibility, and at least you've done something. And it just feels good to know I've done the best I can do to take care of me and the people I care about and my stuff. And along that idea of the dash cam, if you leave and you've got this out and on, then it's giving you protection while you're gone. So when you come home, something's been disturbed, something's been taken, you can go through this footage and see who and what. And for me, I just enjoy knowing animals, but I also enjoy seeing birds. For me, I really enjoy hummingbirds. In fact, it's been one of my intentions to hang out a hummingbird feeder, bird feeder, and also if you put out just a cheap water pump, it's the sound of water in the desert will attract birds from long, long ways because they're desperate for water. And if you could put out a little cheap, just a cheap $20, $30 fountain, and put up one of these aiming at the fountain and the feeder together, you're going to probably get some really interesting footage of birds. And a lot of us really enjoy that birding. And so it would really be a good thing for that. If you're a hunter, and as long as you obey all the state laws, small game hunting in particular is very practical. Almost everywhere I go, I see rabbits and other small game. But even if you're a big game hunter, it can be good for hunting. It can have practical, put food on the table uses to you. As long as you're doing it legally, you've got your hunting license, you're following the seasons, you're never poaching, you're never doing anything illegal or unethical. There's a whole bunch of us for whom the idea of hunting is very romantic and beats in our hearts. And if you think that's immoral, that's fine. I don't personally think that's immoral. But you know what? If game in a certain area is managed well enough, they become pests and they need to be thinned. And so I have no issues with hunters. And if you do, then I understand. So let's talk about this particular unit. It was $140 on Amazon. It has a resolution is the number. You've heard all this stuff. I'm not going to go too heavy into cameras. You're not interested. It should be a higher resolution and a better picture. The technology should be better, and I'll buy some cheap ones to compare, and then you'll see, is it worth spending this much money for one, or can I get plenty good enough picture out of a $40 or $50 unit? And that's what we're going to find out. It has good night vision. You know, we've all seen the grainy pictures. I mean, they're kind of greenish, whitish, of animals coming into camp. You'll get some of those, and that part of the camera, it depends a lot on the technology. So you're buying better technology. That's the bottom line. I won't go into the details. Now, here is the number one reason why you should have a trail cam. Because one day, I guarantee Sasquatch will come into your camp. I absolutely guarantee it. And your money back. All the money you're paying for this video, I'll double your money back with this guarantee. Sasquatch will wander into your camp one day if you put one of these up. You know I'm teasing, folks. That's not going to happen. But why not? Why not? Why can't you be the first one to get a good trail cam picture of Sasquatch? I don't know. That might be a reason to buy one. It's 30 megapixel image resolution, which is very good at 4K. That's very good. One of the big things you want is to have a Wi-Fi connection to an app. You can control it with the app. You can see it, what's going on through the app. That's your security at night. You want it to have very good waterproofing. There's an international standard of waterproofing. They take an item, they test it in exactly the same way, and they give it the exact same rating, so you can know that this thing is very waterproof, or it's kind of waterproof, or they're just kidding themselves. This isn't waterproof at all. This is IP66, which is what most of your smartphones are now. You buy an upper end smartphone, which means you can just throw it in the water. You can't leave it in there. You can't drop it to 1,000 feet depth. But if you drop it, you're doing the dishes and you drop your phone in the water, you pull it out, it's not going to be ruined. And this is IP66 rated, which is about the same as most of our good smartphones. That means it's pretty waterproof. I wouldn't drop it in the water and come back in a year and hope it would work. But I wouldn't worry about rain coming up at night and splashing on it and it not working either. I mean, it's in that range. It's good waterproofing. It's got 20 meters of range for the IR. That's infrared. That's how you're seeing at night. And so that's good. The longer the range, 20 meters is 60 feet. And so you're going to get a fairly decent, and of course, the closer the animal is, the better the picture. So 65 feet, 20-meter distance of triggering. So if an animal is out at 65 feet, that will trigger it and it will take the picture. It takes the picture fast. That's important because, you know, it just costs a little more money to put equipment in it that makes it go fast. So if it's, this has 0.2 seconds, something moves 0.2 seconds, which is, I can't even demonstrate that for you. It takes the picture really quickly. It has advanced night vision. These are all claims. Are they true? Usually they're not really all that true, but hopefully they're partly true. And that's what we're going to do and tell you what is true or not. All right, all right. Shut up, Bob. Shut up, Bob. That should be my name of my channel. Shut up, Bob. Let's look inside. And of course you have the standard cards, and that's actually a pretty darn good little manual. Some of it's in English. That's handy. So you have cards and warranty, and here's the unit. And I think I haven't seen a lot of these, but it looks to be a pretty good unit. And this is the waterproofing. So here's the actual the controls. That looks very handy. That's a nice looking little control panel. And this is how they're getting the IP66 rating. This outside case is completely waterproof. It's got a nice little gasket right here. So it's important how you charge these things, because the idea is you turn them on at night and you watch them the next day. So they're going to be on all night. This just uses 6 standard AAs, which is going to get really expensive really fast. My guess is, and we won't know until we test it, it might burn one of those up in a night or 2 or 3 or fast. So that would get really expensive really fast. So you want something better than that. Fortunately, this can be run, you can have the batteries in it and it will still run off of a USB battery bank, because I just charge this on my solar every day. So what that means is if I have enough solar, that this will cost me nothing in batteries. So the charging is really important, and this charges, you want to get one that will charge off an exterior USB bank. It's got a tripod connection. That's very handy. Having a tripod stand will really make it more versatile. to be able to attach this. It comes with a little plate that you can screw into. It's got screw holes that you can use for the tripod stand. So you could mount this on a board. You could mount this on a wall. That gives you more options. And it's got a little strap. So most of us are going to strap it to a tree. Since most of us spend our summers in the forest, being able to strap this to a tree is going to be a very, very, very good thing. And I am really looking forward to this. Just in the process of living your life, we attract critters. I make tuna fish and I strain the tuna outside, or I make pasta and I drain it outside. Just in the course of our lives, we are creating odors outside of our camps. We're not baiting. We're not trying to attract them. It just happens. It's just part of cooking and living in one place for a few days or a week or 2 weeks. And so you're almost inevitably going to attract some animals and their interest. And this is just a fun hobby to have to go along with it.
If you are brand